Do you ever pick up a ball and just shoot?
I haven't picked up a ball in years.
No, come on. Just like walk past. There's got to be a hoop somewhere at your place.
You don't see a hoop anywhere around here, right?
But, I mean, I enjoyed watching that. I think it was like a 3-minute interview. I believe half of it was talking about when he went to the, I think it was the Ryder Cup owner's home, and he got challenged to shoot a free throw. He said it was like years ago or something.
I was at the Ryder Cup.
Yeah.
And I rented a house from the owner.
Sure.
He came over to do pictures. He had grandkids. And I was meet and greet, thank him for allowing me to stay in the house. And he had a basketball court. He says, I want you to shoot one free throw.
I hope you switched it.
Absolutely.
In today's NBA media landscape, the reality is far more complex than what fans see on television. Analysts, talk shows, and networks often operate under the influence of larger interests, which shifts coverage from pure basketball analysis to power dynamics, narrative control, and strategic messaging. Many observers have noticed that one group, in particular, seems to hold significant sway: Clutch Sports, led by LeBron James and his agent Rich Paul. Over time, it has become increasingly evident that numerous headlines, features, and debates consistently reinforce narratives about LeBron's leadership, legacy, and overall impact. This pattern is not coincidental. Rather, it reflects a deliberate media structure designed to maintain LeBron's public image at the highest level.
I got homies that was literally at the house with me when Cole was dropping to 81. When he got 60, we watching the game, I'm like, oh shit. No, he might go for 80 tonight.
Flashback.
I seen the whole game. I was at home watching the game, and you know, I said he was going to, before the game even started, when I seen, I said he was probably going to score 70.
While shaping discussions about players who might challenge or compete with his legacy. One of the most persistent narratives promoted by this media structure is the claim that LeBron James is the greatest player of all time, while Michael Jordan is framed as a figure of the past. This idea has become central to Clutch Sports' messaging strategy, effectively an ongoing effort to reshape basketball history in real time. Yet the reality is that Jordan's impact on the game is undeniable and enduring. He transformed basketball globally, and no social media campaign or coordinated media push can erase that legacy. LeBron's accomplishments are extraordinary, but his style, career trajectory, and overall resume are different, and the debate over who is the greatest remains far from settled. Rather than allowing the conversation to evolve organically, Clutch Sports actively amplifies its position by influencing media coverage, placing representatives in key roles, and ensuring certain talking points spread widely. This is where figures like Shams Charania come into play. Though publicly viewed as the
this again, I know Rich, I vaguely work with Rich, I have massive respect for
mere NBA newsbreaker, he often functions less as an independent journalist and more as a conduit for messaging aligned with the interests of agencies and power brokers like Clutch Sports. Critics note that many major stories involving LeBron James or Rich Paul often surface first through Shams Charania. A notable example is the Anthony Davis trade saga, when speculation arose about whether LeBron influenced the move. Shams quickly reported that LeBron had no involvement, and to some observers, the timing and tone of that report felt less like objective journalism and more like narrative management. This fits within the broader dynamics of media access in the NBA, where a reporter's value depends heavily on the sources they cultivate. If those sources include powerful figures within Clutch Sports, maintaining those relationships becomes a professional necessity. In this context, repeating favorable messaging is not unusual. It reflects how access-based reporting operates. What intensifies scrutiny, however, is the business connection between Shams and Clutch Sports. In 2019, the media company that employs Shams received an investment linked to Rich Paul's agency. While this does not imply direct control,
what about this relationship between AD and LeBron James, Clutch Sports? They won a title together, but you report that LeBron didn't even know about it, found out about it at dinner after the Knicks.
It establishes a structural relationship in which aligned interests are implicit. To critics, this arrangement reinforces the perception that some coverage surrounding LeBron and Clutch Sports may be shaped, at least in part, by business considerations rather than independent journalistic judgment. Critics contend that the close relationship between Clutch Sports, United Talent Agency, UTA, and media figures like Shams Charania has blurred the line between independent reporting and strategic messaging. When a reporter's access and professional value depend on the same networks they cover, every source confirms update or breaking news post can take on added significance. Rather than purely journalistic work, Some of this reporting may function more like a coordinated communication effort that protects the public image of high-profile figures such as LeBron James and Rich Paul. This perception is reinforced by the fact that in 2019, Clutch Sports merged with UTA, one of Hollywood's most influential representation firms, and shortly after, Shams Charania signed with UTA for representation. To some observers, this sequence appeared less coincidental and more like a deliberate consolidation of power, linking athletes, media messaging, and public relations within a tightly connected structure. From this perspective, the partnership allows Clutch not only to influence players and negotiations, but also to shape how NBA narratives are framed and distributed. Many fans and analysts believe this creates a media ecosystem in which agencies, journalists, and platforms operate in alignment rather than independently. As a result, what viewers see on television or read online
expand your game and become a much better three-point shooter, but he's got to get better at that.
99.9% of the time, I'm going to know what's going on. The one time I didn't was the one time we all didn't, per se, know what was going on. We all didn't, per se, know what was going on.
Is not merely analysis. It is messaging shaped by shared business interests, with maintaining LeBron James' public image and legacy emerging as a central priority. This isn't journalism, it's politics. Dirty politics happening both behind the scenes and in plain sight. When you control the media, you don't just shape headlines. You influence how people think. You decide who becomes the hero, who becomes the villain, and who gets erased entirely. A perfect example is Michael Jordan's NBC debut. That brief 2 to 5 minute segment reminded the world why Jordan still resonates with every generation. It showcased his humanity, his love for the game, and his appreciation for fans, young and old. Moments like that are why his legacy continues to feel genuine and untarnished, even decades later. But for Clutch Sports, that poses a problem. They cannot allow Jordan to shine brighter than the current face of their brand. The strategy then becomes simple. Plant doubt, twist the story, and use media voices, like Shams Charania, to imply that Jordan wasn't being genuine. Yet ironically,
the basketball court, he says, I want you to shoot one free throw. I said, really? I have to shoot the free throw. That's the most nervous I've been in years.
Stop it.
In years.
Stop it. Come on.
And reason being is those kids heard the stories from the parents about what I did 30 years ago.
Right.
So their expectation is 30 years prior, and I haven't touched the basketball.
it backfired. Within 24 hours, the truth emerged, and Shams was the one who appeared foolish. For once, the narrative machine stumbled over itself. Even after being proven wrong, he continued pushing the narrative. When your paycheck depends on Clutch Sports, you say what you're expected to say, even if it makes you look absurd. And this is where the irony becomes unavoidable. Rich Paul, along with his closest ally LeBron James, has built a career on narrative control. Their public image, their influence, and even certain parts of their legacy have been shaped through carefully crafted storytelling designed to reinforce their version of greatness. But here's the real question. Why target Michael Jordan at all? Why try to diminish someone who retired decades ago and has nothing to do with current league politics? The answer is almost comical. Jordan's legacy remains so strong, so culturally cemented, that he still occupies space.
Moment
was black.
was when MJ came in.
When he came in.
I ain't never.
Yeah. We talking about aura. You're talking about aura.
Let me tell you something. When he walked through,
just aura. That's it.
Everything
just
changed.
Yeah.
You know when the coolest person walk in the room?
Yeah. You cool until the coolest nigga walk in the room. Yeah.
Man, when MJ came in, it gets silence. Everybody was like, "Oh."
That's when you really saw the difference of like, man, this dude the GOAT.
Yeah.
Like when he was walking, everybody was just staring at him.
Yeah.
Like even all the people that was
Like the top 75 looking at him.
The other 74 was looking at him.
In their minds. Even now, after everything he has already achieved, they feel the need to counter him. Jordan does not need the media to defend his legacy. His legacy defends itself. And that is precisely why it threatens them. Jordan continues to live rent-free in their heads. The basketball world was stunned when LeBron James dropped the bombshell announcement that Klay Thompson would be joining the Lakers. The unexpected move sent fans into a frenzy and sparked countless questions about the real motivation behind the trade. Rumors of Thompson potentially joining the Lakers have circulated for years, dating back to his free agency in the summer of 2024 following a tense departure from the Golden State Warriors. At that time, the Lakers reportedly offered a more lucrative deal than the Dallas Mavericks, yet Thompson chose Dallas, influenced not just by money but also by personal connections. His father, a former Laker and current broadcaster, reportedly encouraged the move. LeBron James himself personally recruited Thompson to Los Angeles, but Thompson opted for Dallas to chase another championship alongside Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving, while also benefiting from the state's no-income tax environment. For Lakers fans, this was especially disappointing given Thompson's California roots and proximity to the team's facilities. However, the door was never fully closed on a potential Lakers reunion. Early in the 2025-26 season, Thompson struggled to integrate into the Mavericks system, which relied heavily on a heliocentric offense that contrasted with the motion-heavy system he thrived in at Golden State. His performance was inconsistent, and the Mavericks, led by Nico Harrison, began exploring his trade value before the February deadline. Analysts noted that Thompson's familiarity with high-pressure situations and ability to operate in systems emphasizing spacing around stars like LeBron and Anthony Davis made him a strong candidate for a Lakers revival. Fans on social media debated potential trade packages, weighing the pros and cons of giving up young talent for Thompson's championship pedigree. Yet, his struggles in Dallas, including a shooting slump around 27% from the field and the psychological challenge of coming off the bench, highlighted the risk associated with the trade. His contract, a 3-year, $50 million deal with a front-loaded structure, made him financially manageable but also carried the risk of age and injury concerns. Beyond basketball, the NBA media landscape has grown increasingly politicized. Analysts, networks, and shows often operate under the influence of power and control rather than objective reporting. At the center of this system sits Clutch Sports, along with LeBron James and his agent Rich Paul, carefully curating narratives to protect LeBron's public image. Insiders like Shams Charania often manage these narratives, spinning stories to shield LeBron and Clutch Sports from scrutiny, such as denying his involvement in high-profile trades. This creates a closed ecosystem in which media voices echo the narratives that serve Clutch Sports interests, blurring the lines between journalism and management. This influence extends even to past legends. Michael Jordan's NBC debut, a brief segment showcasing his humanity and love for the game, was reportedly downplayed or twisted by channels aligned with Clutch Sports in attempts to diminish his legacy. Yet Jordan's authenticity and quiet presence continue to amplify his influence, standing in stark contrast to LeBron's omnipresence across press conferences, podcasts, and brand campaigns. While LeBron's legacy is actively managed and debated, Jordan's mystique remains untarnished, highlighting the difference between earned greatness and a carefully constructed narrative. In this environment, fans witness not just basketball but a complex interplay of power, media, and messaging, where history, reputation, and perception are all part of the game.